Hello friends, today's topic is how citizenship is acquired in India and how it is lost. And why I am taking this topic? Because the ex-chief of IPL, Mr. Lalit Modi, who has been absconding since 2010, now applied for surrendering Indian passport in the High Commission Office of London. And he acquired the citizenship of a country named Vanuatu, located in the South Pacific Ocean. It is a country of more than 80 islands. So today I will discuss about how citizenship is earned or acquired in India, how it is lost, what is difference between non-resident Indians and overseas citizens of India, who is a citizen and how it is different from aliens, single citizenship in India, and finally conclusion. Friends, as I have already told you that the former chief of IPL, Mr. Lalit Modi, has now acquired citizenship in the country named Vanuatu, a country of having more than 80 islands, and he has also applied for surrendering his Indian passport in the High Commission Office at London. He has been accused of various financial irregularities, embezzlement, and so since 2013 he was put live ban by BCCI. It should be noted that since 2010 onwards he has been absconding and have been living in different countries of the world to evade the enforcement of Indian law against him. It should be noted that Vanuatu is a country of more than 80 islands, and it is in the southern Pacific Ocean, east of Australia, west of Fiji, south of Solomon Islands. Its capital is at Port Vila. It got independence in 1980 from the condominium, joint rule of France and Britain. It has the provision that any individual can become the citizen of Vanuatu by investing non-refundable amount to the tune of $1,55,000. Friends, now question arises as to who is a citizen in India. A citizen is an individual who has been bestowed upon certain rights, responsibility, and duties. It also entails a kind of formal allegiance with the country in which he is residing, and in return the state gives protection to its citizens. A citizenship can be acquired by birth in a territory of a state, by descent, by the naturalization process, by registration, by the acquisition of a territory. In our constitution, a citizen has been given exclusive fundamental rights like Article 15, which prohibits discrimination only on the grounds of caste, religion, sex, place of birth. Under Article 16, for public employment opportunities. Under Article 19, which gives an individual freedom of speech and expression, movement, residence, occupation. And so 6 kinds of freedom has been bestowed upon a citizen, which is not available to non-citizen or an alien. Similarly, a citizen has been given the right under Article 29, which provides for preservation of language, script, and culture of minorities, and under Article 30, which provides for the establishment of educational institutions by minorities. So friends, these fundamental rights in our constitution is not available to an alien or non-citizen of this country. In addition, a citizen has been required to follow or to observe 11 kinds of fundamental duties under Article 51A of our Constitution, like respecting our Constitution, to defend the country, to safeguard the territorial integrity of India, to safeguard environment, to ensure education of children between 6 to 14 years of age, to safeguard public property, to develop scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry, to improve natural environment. Aliens are not required to follow or observe fundamental duties, but they have also to observe certain rules and regulations. These are respect for the sovereignty and integrity of India, obey visa and immigration rules, respect for Indian culture and tradition, refrain from indulging in Indian politics. Friends, an alien is a foreign citizen who is residing within the territory of India. He has certain rights and duties towards our constitution. They have limited rights in comparison to the citizen of this country. They stay in India subject to the permission of the government of India, and this permission can be revoked. But they have also been bestowed upon certain fundamental rights. These fundamental rights are under Article 14, which provides for equality before law, under Article 20, to protect them from certain offences like double jeopardy, ex post facto laws and self-incrimination, under Article 21, the right to life and liberty, under Article 22, protection against arbitrary arrest and detention. But this right is not available to the enemy aliens. I mean those aliens who are residing in India and they have connection with the enemy country of India. Again, under Article 23, the provision of human trafficking and forced labor, provision of child labor under Article 24, freedom of religion guaranteed under Article 25 to 28. So friends, I switch over to the question as to how citizenship is acquired in India. As you know that the provision of citizenship is alluded in the part 2 of our constitution between Article 5 to 11. However, it empowers the parliament to make laws and rules with regard to citizenship. And so, in 1955, the Citizenship Act was passed by parliament. Those person can acquire citizenship in India by birth. It means that those persons who were born before 26 January 1950 are automatically given the status of citizen of India. Those persons who were born between 26 January 1950 and 1st July 1987 were also bestowed upon citizenship irrespective of the nationality of their parents. Those individuals who were born in India between 1st July 1987 and December 3rd, 2004 were given citizenship provided at least one parent must be an Indian citizen born on and after December 3rd, 2004. An individual was to be given citizenship on the basis of birth if both of their parents were Indian citizens, or if one parent was an Indian citizen and the other was not illegal migrant. Citizenship can be acquired also by descent. A person who was born before 26 January 1950 outside India from an Indian citizen parent, he would acquire citizenship in India. Born after 10th December 1992, if a person has been born after this date, he will be given the right of Indian citizen if either parent was an Indian and birth was registered within 1 year at the Indian consulate. A citizenship can also be acquired by an individual by registration process. For example, if a person of Indian origin has been residing in India for the last 7 years in India, if a person married to an Indian citizen and was living in India for the last 7 years, they can also be given Indian citizenship. Citizenship can also be acquired through the process of naturalization. For example, if a foreigner has been staying in India for the last 12 years, he can be bestowed upon Indian citizenship provided he apply for getting citizenship. However, this time limit can be waived by the government of India for distinguished persons. Citizenship can also be acquired when the government of India acquires a new territory. For example, after independence, the government of India acquired Goa, Daman, Diu from Portuguese, Puducherry and Chandranagar from the French. Sikkim, the resident of these areas, became automatically the citizen of India once these territories merged within the Indian Union. Friends, a special provisions for migrants from Bangladesh was made under Assam Accord in 1980-85. According to this provision, those individuals who migrated from Bangladesh before 1st January 1966 into Assam were given citizenship rights. Those individuals who migrated from Bangladesh and entered into Assam from 1st January 1966 to March 24, 1971, and if they are continuously living in Assam, then they will have to wait 10 years to become citizens of India and will be given the voting rights. In the intervening period, they would not be eligible for votings. However, certain rights and obligations will be bestowed upon them. Those individuals who migrated into Assam from Bangladesh after 24th March 1971 was declared illegal migrant and subject to deportation. Friends, the government of India enacted Citizens Amendment Act in 2019, whereby minorities of Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, Christians, Sikhs living in Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh would be bestowed upon citizenship if they had entered into India on or before 31st December 2014. National Register of Citizens were updated in 2019 to trace out the illegal immigrants into Assam, and it was found out that about 19 lakhs of illegal migrants came from Bangladesh and settled into Assam. The government of India is thinking with regard to deporting them to Bangladesh, but still it has not materialized. These illegal immigrants entered into Assam and other part of northeastern territories after 24th March 1971. Now question is how the citizenship is lost in India. There are three methods. These are renunciation, termination and deprivation. According to renunciation formula, if an individual voluntarily surrenders the citizenship of the parent country, he ceases to be the Indian citizen. It should also be noted that the minor children of the parents who renounce citizenship of India also stands renunciated. However, the minor children can claim Indian citizenship after getting 18 years of age. If an Indian citizen voluntarily accepts the citizenship of other country, it means that his citizenship of the parent country is automatically terminated. The government of India can deprive a person of citizenship if the citizenship right has been obtained fraudulently, showed disloyalty to the Constitution of India, assisted the enemy country during the war or the period of aggression by foreign country, convicted of an offense for more than 2 years after getting the citizenship right within 5 years, trading illegally with the enemy countries. So these are the 5 conditions under which the government of India can deprive a person of his citizenship. Now friends, what is difference between non-resident Indians and overseas citizen of India? A non-resident Indian is a person who resides more than 182 days in a year in foreign country. And OCI is a person who is a foreign citizen having an OCI is a foreign citizen of Indian origin and holds the OCI cards. An NRI is an Indian citizen and holds an Indian passport, while OCI is not an Indian citizen. Again, an NRI has voting rights while an OCI has no voting rights. An NRI can hold the government jobs and posts while an OCI have no right to hold the government job or important constitutional posts. An NRI can own property including agricultural land while an OCI cannot own agricultural lands or plantation lands. An NRI enjoys the same fundamental rights as an Indian citizen living within the territory of India. So there is no restrictions upon his rights. While in the case of OCI, I mean overseas citizen of India, there are certain restrictions. These restrictions are under Article 15, 16, 19, 29 and 30 of our Constitution. So friends, now I switch over to the point of single citizenship in India. As you know, there is one single citizenship in India. Whether you are born in Bihar, UP or Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu, everybody is an Indian citizen, irrespective of the state in which he was born. So it is in contrast to the US or Australia, where an individual is both a citizen of his country as well as of his state in which he is living. A citizen in India enjoys the movement throughout the territory of India, has the right to get elected to any position in the government, has the right to vote to elect a candidate in the election. But there are certain restrictions on the movement of a citizen in India where large number of tribal communities are living. Secondly, the government can reserve certain seats for local people in the non-gazetted posts. Similarly, the government has power to reserve certain percentage of government jobs for weaker sections of the society like women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and physically challenged persons. So friends, now I conclude. India has adopted the principle of jus sanguinis, that is right of blood, instead of jus soli, that is right of soil, adopted in the US and other countries of the world. India doesn't follow dual citizenship. The Indian Constitution provides unified and equal citizenship system with restricted laws against dual citizenship. It should be noted that President of India can be a citizen through the birth or through the process of naturalization. But in the US, the president can only be a natural born citizen of the US. The Indian president, to become eligible for the post, must have resided 10 years before filing his nomination and must be qualified to become a member of Lok Sabha. So friends, our citizenship laws are very much flexible. So now I conclude. If you like my channel or this video, please share and subscribe and give your valuable suggestions. Thank you very much.